Today on Judge Porter.
I'm a black guy. What's base tan? What is that?
And he said, quote, I want to get the setting that the celebrities get, and I want to look darker than George Hamilton.
I don't know, I think they were playing a joke on me. They thought it was funny. They laughed at me when I left, but they cranked up.
We're here for case number 3831, Todd Wexler versus Ralph Diaz. Gentlemen, if you can come to the podium, please. And this will be the last case of the day. Thank God. Mr. Wexler, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Diaz, good morning, sir.
How you doing, Judge Porter?
Okay, here's my question. Mr. Wexler, you said that you're going to be suing this gentleman for $90,000 for damages. The Bronze Empire Tanning Salon?
Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor.
Okay, is that your company?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, you're the proprietor of that facility.
I am.
Okay, Mr. Wexler, why are you suing the tanning company?
Your Honor, as you can see, I was burned severely at this establishment. They were negligent at every step of the way. I have gone through an incredible ordeal since I visited his business.
How long ago did this happen, sir?
This was 10 days ago, Your Honor.
Okay, continue, please.
So I went there just to get a little base tan. I was supposed to go on a vacation that
Sorry,
couldn't go on.
I'm a black guy. What's base tan? What is that?
So for people like me who are from Ireland, we burn very easily in the sun.
Okay.
And so you have to get just a little bit of sun at a time until you build up a resistance.
Okay.
So that you don't, I'm sorry, Your Honor, this is extremely painful still.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So that you don't get a severe sunburn. So I went to his establishment to get a base tan before I went to Hawaii, a vacation I was not able to take because his establishment was so negligent.
I'm sorry, did you say you were going to Hawaii?
Yes, Your Honor. I was supposed
Okay.
to take a vacation to Hawaii. I had to cancel it.
All right, continue.
I went to his establishment to get just a light base tan, and instead I don't know, I think they were playing a joke on me. They thought it was funny. They laughed at me when I left, but they cranked up the tanning bed, and I was severely burned, second-degree burns. I have blisters on my back that would shock you if I showed them to you.
How do you know that they adjusted the
tanning bed?
Yes.
Your Honor, I was very clear when I went in. I mean, obviously, look at
You're
me.
very clear about what?
About what I was looking for. I said, I'm just looking for a base tan here. I just want to get a start on this. I told them exactly what was going on.
How long does a base tan take?
I wouldn't know. I just asked. So I was in the machine for about 15 minutes. Seemed okay to me. I came out. I was pink when I came out, which I thought, okay, I don't know. I've never done this before. And then as I went home and as I left, they were laughing at me.
Okay.
And then over the next hour, my skin, it's like I was sitting in an oven. I was cooking. It got redder and redder. Blisters popped out. I was in extreme pain. I had to go to the hospital.
So
the doctors were mortified.
basically, you suffered the effects that's similar to that of a sunburn.
Like a fire burn, second-degree burns, Your Honor. This was
Have
beyond
you ever
like
had a
sunburn.
sunburn before, sir?
I've had a light sunburn, of course, you know, where you burn your arms or your shoulders or something at the beach on a day. Nothing like this. I am blistered head to toe. I couldn't go to work. It has been agony.
Oh.
And they are claiming no responsibility.
Mr. Diaz, sir, can you give me some clarification as to what occurred at your facility?
With pleasure. I gotta say, Your Honor, I find myself in kind of a conflicted state right now because I really don't feel like dealing with this for obvious reasons. But secondly, I'm a big fan of your show. My partner and I watch you all the time, so I'm kind of like in a sort of like celebrity trance right now, if you know what I'm saying. So
I understand.
Big fan of the show, but unfortunately, you know, this has to be dealt with. Let's just start with the fact that Mr.
Wexler.
Wexler here came into my salon about 10, 11 days ago, and he said, quote, I want to get the setting that the celebrities get, and I want to look darker than George Hamilton, end quote.
Okay.
Literally what he said, verbatim.
Would that be the base tan that he's referring to?
That's not a base tan.
Okay, well,
Very far from it.
What? Okay, what exactly is a base tan again? Is that an actual term that's
Yes,
used
it
in the
is.
tanning industry?
It is. It is the complete antithesis of what you're looking at here.
Okay.
Base tan is essentially a 10-minute session, most basic form, where you get a nice tan, as if we went to the beach for a few hours.
So it's like it's like a light tint, so
Very
to speak.
light tan.
Okay.
I'd also like to say something, Mr. Porter, so you get Judge Porter, so you get an idea of who I am.
Okay.
I'm a third-generation tanning salon owner. My grandparents started the first tanning salon in Europe and Spain in the early 20th century.
Okay.
First people in Europe to own a tanning salon.
Sir, I need you to get to the point.
Well, I will, if I may, just to give you an idea of my expertise in this matter, because I think that should clear things up. My parents started running the business in California in the 50s, and I was born into this life.
Okay.
I know everything there is to know about tanning. God put me on this earth to tan people. I take the game very seriously, okay? And that, my friend, is not a base tan. You came to me, and did you not say, I want to look darker than George Hamilton? Did you not say that?
Did you say that, sir?
Your Honor.
That's a yes or no question.
No, I made a joke about George Hamilton. It was sarcasm. It was completely obvious, and I was explicit in asking for a base tan.
But the sarcasm was, I want to look darker than George Hamilton.
Sarcastically,
it was just a statement.
I said, I
You
want a
saw
base
it as
tan.
sarcasm. You saw it as serious.
I saw it as very serious. He was not being sarcastic.
All right. So what? So he asked for this particular tan.
Yes.
And how long was he in your machine for?
He was in the machine for about 15 to 20 minutes, which I also warned against. I told him that he was to go in the machine for no longer than 10 minutes with a level 2 setting.
Okay.
He went into the machine for about 15 minutes at level 4 with
Well, how did he get from 2 to 4?
He obviously disobeyed our guidelines. When I went to the machine, when he got out of the machine and I went to inspect, I saw it at level 4. And I told him to not increase it from level 2. He did that by himself. And in addition to that, which will also clarify the situation, he was using igniter gel oil that he got from Mexico. This is an oil that only bodybuilders use to make their skin look brighter.
I'm familiar with the oils that they use, but those oils aren't designed for fighting the sun or the effects of the sun. Am I correct in saying that?
You're correct in assuming that.
Mr. Wexler, let me ask you a question. I need you to be honest with me. Did you touch the equipment?
Yes.
Now, before...
I did, Your Honor, yes.
Hold on. Mr. Diaz, I'm just curious.
Yes.
Does your facility have cameras in it?
Absolutely. We're decked out.
Mr. Wexler, did you touch the equipment?
I had to, Your Honor. They told me to set it. They told me to put it on 4.
Why would they tell you to put, I don't understand. Why would they tell you to put it on 4? That doesn't make sense to me.
Your Honor. I don't understand either. I think they were trying to have a laugh at my expense. I think they were abusing me.
You're telling me that you went to a tanning salon, you went to the machine, the tanning bed, and they told you put it at 4, the settings.
Yes,
a
Your
machine
Honor.
that you've never used before in your life.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And man, that don't even make sense.
I agree.
Thank you.
I'd never been to a tanning salon before. I didn't know what to expect. I thought this was the way things were done. They told me to put it on 4. Who said
it at number 2?
My assistant did.
Your assistant.
Which I supervised, by the way.
Okay, and when it was set, where was Mr. Wexler?
He was inside the machine.
He was inside the machine? And how long did you say that it was supposed to be? You said 10 minutes?
We recommended no more than 10 minutes.
Okay, if it was 10 minutes, how did it get to 15?
He set the setting himself. When he was
No. I mean, how did he end up staying there for? I understand that the setting was changed, but how did he end up staying there for 15 minutes? That's what I'm asking.
Because there is a way from inside the machine where you can program it to increase the time. So he took the liberty of setting it to 15 minutes and increasing it to level 4 by himself inside the machine.
On the advice of the person that put me in the machine.
Incorrect. Nobody advised you to do that. Mr. Drexler, are you seriously telling me we told you this?
Yes. Yes, that's what I was told.
Who told you that?
The assistant person that was at the counter.
The assistant told you to... Okay, I'm lost. The assistant told you, once you got inside the tanning bed, to increase it to a level higher than what was originally set for, and then told you to stay in there longer than what was recommended? Is that what you're saying?
Than what he's claiming they recommended. I was never told level 2 or 10 minutes.
Why did the assistant tell you that?
That I can't answer. I assumed he was playing a joke on me.
Oh, also, he refused to wear tanning lotion.
I had brought my own lotion that was supposed to protect me.
I got that part. But here's the thing. If they have a product, right, a certain product for tanning inside of a tanning bed, because, correct me if I'm wrong on this, sir, but the tanning that you receive from a tanning bed is a little bit different from the tanning you receive from the sun. Am I correct in that? There is some difference there?
Absolutely.
So why, if they're telling you, hey, we recommend that you use this lotion, why would you use your own? Because the compatibility becomes an issue.
Yes, Your Honor, I completely understand your questions and your confusion. I put myself in their hands. They said, use this lotion. I said, hey, I bought this off the internet. It's from Mexico. It's supposed to be really good. And the guy was like, oh yeah, that'll work. So I put it on instead of the stuff they brought. They abused me. They took advantage of my ignorance and assaulted me to the point where I needed medical attention.
But the problem is you want them to pay for your ignorance.
No, I want them to pay for their negligence. I put myself in their hands.
But I don't see negligence here, sir. I don't see negligence. What I see is that you did not follow instructions.
Those instructions were presented as options. I said, can I use this instead of that? He says, yeah, that'll work. He says, you can use this from a 2 to a 4. I said, well, I'm going to Hawaii. I don't want to get burned. Can I go to a 4? He's like, go for it.
What were you going to do once you got to Hawaii? I'm just curious.
I was going to lay on a beach and relax and enjoy some
in the
downtime.
sun.
Yes. Yes.
Judge Porter, if I may for a second.
Yes.
If I may for a second, because we have actual recording footage of this. So, Mr. Drexler, you make him up as you go along, don't you? You just make them up as you go along. Amazing. We have actual recorded evidence from the salon of Mr. Drexler coming out of the machine, looking at himself in the mirror and saying, yeah, baby. So you were very happy with the results that you saw on that. And it wasn't only on the 3 days after that he came back to the salon complaining that we burned them, but he was perfectly fine with that on day one.
Mr. Wexler, sir, I don't know if you know what the words contempt of court mean. So let me help you with this. This gentleman has video evidence of you at his establishment getting a tan. Okay? We both agree on that, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to show that the settings were at a certain setting. Now, he just said that you got out of the machine, looked at yourself. Wait a minute. Was the machine still operating when he did this?
Yes.
You got out of a machine that was still on, and then you got back into the machine? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. The machine stopped in 15 minutes. We recommended to not exceed 10.
He exceeded the 5.
Right.
Okay.
And at 15-minute mark, he leaves the machine.
Okay, if he has video evidence of this, and he presents that to me in court, and that's going to pretty much nullify everything that you've said. That means that you lied to my face. And before you came up to this podium, you guys all took an oath. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
To tell the truth.
Yes, Your Honor. In my defense, I am on some serious painkiller medication right now.
Oh, it's got you foggy. You can't think clearly.
I have been very foggy for 2 weeks since I was abused
What were you going
by
to do
this
when you got to
man's
Hawaii?
business.
You were going to lay on the beach and
medication.
get some more sun?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I was trying to avoid
but you
getting
said
burned
your
like
skin
this.
is very, very, very sensitive to getting burnt earlier in your testimony. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, Your Honor, which is why I went to his business so that I wouldn't get burned, so I could slowly expose myself to the sun and build up a resistance.
Okay.
And
well,
instead,
Mr. Wexler, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you're telling me the truth. I think that you violated the rules that Bronze Empire Tanning Salon put forth, and that once you started to suffer the consequences of that, you felt that you needed to pay, they needed to pay for, and this isn't even ignorance. This is just negligence on your part because you didn't follow the instructions. I understand that you wanted to fast track your base tan, but I'm sorry, that's on you. I'm sorry. So this $15,000, oh, I'm sorry, $90,000 that you're asking for, no, that is being thrown out. You're not getting that.
Terrific.
Not at all. Okay?
can they at least cover my medical expenses for their negligence?
No. Next time, follow instructions to the letter, and these things won't happen. So, on that note, this case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. You too.
Obviously, I'm very disappointed in the decision. I was clearly taken advantage of by a hostile business that, for whatever reason, thought it'd be funny to prank me. And I really think that what happened today was that he sucked up to the judge pretending to be a fan, and the judge was flattered by that and used that as a basis to rule against me. And I'm disappointed in the character of Judge Porter.
I'm very happy with the decision today because it says the president that people cannot just come into a court of law and say whatever they want and get away with it. So I thank Judge Porter very much for his decision, people of Mango Park and the entire community. And just to let you guys know, we're running a special this week at the Salon. So if you guys want to swing by, we're glad to help you. Take care, everybody. Super chill.